The wind howled across the dry wheat fields of Red Creek Valley as dusk painted the horizon in molten gold. At the edge of those fields stood a girl named Leila Carter, her crutches sinking slightly into the soil with each step. Her left leg had never worked properly since the accident that killed her father 3 years earlier. The townspeople whispered about her as the crippled farm girl, but none of them knew who she really was, or what she had been training to become. That evening, her old pickup truck rattled into the high school parking lot. It was dented and faded, but she had fixed it herself after months of work. In the mirror, she practiced a calm smile. It was her first day back at school after months of therapy, and she wanted to appear strong, even though inside, her stomach was in knots. At school, 3 boys and 2 girls waited near the entrance. They were the kind of kids who had money in their pockets and names engraved on trophies. They watched her approach and smirked. "Here comes Limpy Leela," one of them whispered loudly enough for her to hear. She kept walking, eyes down, until one of them blocked her path. Another nudged her crutch so it slipped in the wet grass, and she stumbled. The group laughed as her books scattered on the ground. "Farm trash," a girl hissed. "You don't belong here." Leela's fingers curled around her crutches. A flash of her father's voice came back. "A warrior's strength isn't in her legs but in her heart." She forced herself to pick up her books, lift her head, and keep moving. But inside, humiliation burned hot. She wanted to disappear. That night in the barn, she didn't cry. Instead, she trained. She had built a small training area out of hay bales and rusty weights. Her uncle, a retired special operations soldier, had been teaching her adaptive combat techniques ever since her father's accident. She learned how to use her crutches as leverage, how to strike with her upper body, how to read people's movements. He told her, "Disability is not weakness, it's camouflage." Over the following weeks, the bullying escalated. Someone carved insults into her locker. A boy filmed her struggling to climb stairs and posted it online. Even teachers turned a blind eye. Leela's one solace was her work on the farm. She fixed fences, fed animals, and at night continued training until her arms trembled from exhaustion. Then came the county fair. Every year it hosted a charity obstacle course to raise money for veterans. The bullies signed up, eager to show off. Leela signed up too, but in secret. Her uncle modified her crutches for better grip and balance. "Win or lose," he said, "show them who you are." The day of the event was scorching hot. Crowds gathered as the loudspeaker announced the teams. When Leela's name came up, a hush fell over the crowd. The bullies snickered. "This is going to be hilarious," one said. But as the whistle blew, something happened they didn't expect. Leela launched forward like lightning, using her crutches to propel herself across the dirt. She ducked under barriers, swung over ropes, and used her upper strength to scale walls. At first, people gasped. Then they started cheering. She didn't just keep up. She passed the bullies. Every obstacle she cleared was another piece of humiliation sliding off her shoulders. By the end of the course, she crossed the finish line first, arms raised, sweat and dust streaking her face. The crowd erupted, but the bullies weren't done. After the race, they cornered her behind the barns. "Think you're a hero now," one snarled. "This isn't over." They moved in, but Leela was ready. She planted her crutches wide, shifted her weight, and with practiced precision blocked the grabs, spun them off balance, and sent one tumbling to the dirt. She didn't injure them, she just showed control, power, and restraint. Her eyes burned with a steady fire. "I'm not your victim," she said quietly. "Not anymore." A teacher who had followed the noise saw everything. For the first time, adults intervened. The bullies were suspended, their parents called. The video of her victory, and her self-defense, spread across town. Instead of ridicule, she received messages of support. But the story didn't end there. Leela used the attention to launch a small program at her school teaching self-defense and resilience for kids with disabilities. At first only a handful joined. By the end of the year, dozens of students, some with visible disabilities, others just needing confidence, were training with her in the gym after classes. The challenges were far from over. Funding was scarce, some parents objected, and Leela still faced days when pain made it hard to move. But each obstacle became another chance to prove her father right. A warrior's strength is in her heart. She learned to speak at community events, sharing her story, inspiring others to see ability where they once saw limitation. Years later, Leela stood on a stage at a national conference for adaptive athletes. Her hair was tied back, her crutches polished. Behind her was a photo of that dusty obstacle course, the moment everything changed. She told the audience, "People will underestimate you. Let them. It gives you time to train in silence. One day, when you step into the light, the world will see who you truly are." The crowd rose to its feet. As the applause rolled over her, she saw her uncle smiling in the front row. She thought of her father's voice on the wind. The girl who had once been humiliated in the schoolyard was gone. In her place stood a hidden warrior revealed. A reminder to every listener that courage is not the absence of fear or pain, but the choice to rise again and again, no matter who doubts you.